Who likes Dr. Pepper?
I do.
I like Mr. Pibb or whatever.
Yeah,
No,
Pib is the Coca-Cola brand. So when I go to theaters, that's what, especially AMC theaters,
What
they
about
have Pib.
What about Tab?
No.
I can
Nah.
order a tab.
Cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke's a good
There you go.
go too. I had Cherry Pepsi once, but usually it's just Mountain Dew.
Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review. And I swear we had 5 people. We'll have to see if we can get them back. But we have 4 right now. I was not supposed to moderate tonight, but Colin is out sick. And here is the original review moderator to do this special Wednesday night show because Aaron had to cater to the Dynamite fans or whatever was going on last night. But nonetheless, here we are, episode 356. Big G's in the house. What's up, Big G?
Nothing much. Had a good weekend. Finished the new Monster series on Netflix. Started my fall term or my fall semester for college. I want to say 2 more terms, 2 more semesters, so I graduate. So I got that going for me. But other than that, we got some good topics to discuss tonight. And like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
All right, stay tuned. Noah, what's going on?
Virtue, Aaron, Big G, NoDQ Galaxy, and fam. What's up with you all? Good to see you once again. I respect your gumption pursuing education like the virtuoso Dion Perazzo. Not a whole lot. It was a simple day at work. The project's about done. Got about the last of the 500 PCs to Windows 11 before the deadline next week. And my aunt just surprised me with my love of Pac-Man with Pac-Man World Tour Pack. So I'm looking forward to playing that on the PlayStation after this. So Big Jerry said, you know me, I'm always ready to get right into it. So let's do this.
Noah, that's a great game. The repack game 1 from 3 years ago was great. Just keep in mind on the second game, it gets harder towards the end. So I hope you're good. I hope you're good.
I love it.
All right, so stay tuned. All right, making his debut on the review and on a video with me, Dave Scheffler. What's up? You're on mute. You might be on mute.
Hey, Virtue, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. And I just had the Big G issue with my technical, I guess. It got me knocked out. Nice to meet you too, Noah. Appreciate it. And Aaron, good to see you. Same here, Big G. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not going to steal Big G's line, so I'm going to let him have it.
No, but like I'm going to say, and I know we're recently been friends on Facebook, but I don't go and stalk people. Dude, just looking at you from your image right here, you remind me of a mobster, man, like gangster or something. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but I feel like if I say something wrong, off, you're gonna hit.
No,
Gonna put a hit on Virtue.
Just saying.
Wouldn't be the first person, apparently.
I'm probably the least one who would do that.
I have Italian roots in my family, going back to Naples, Italy.
Hey, I'm from Chicago. That's where one of the biggest mobsters ever was.
Yeah, Al Capone, of course, the Valentine's Day massacre, and I also got Italian in my blood, so I respect you and what you bring.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for being on, Dave. Stay tuned. I'll be back with you shortly. Now over to Aaron.
Great to have Dave with us on for the first time. And Dave, just make sure you don't have Big G's problem with the audio and the video for the duration of this. That would be helpful because we don't want you popping in and out. We got to make sure you stay
Hey, I
here.
got myself off mute, Aaron. I managed to get myself off mute.
All right, that's step 1. You're on your way to becoming a NoDQ review expert. Just being able to turn off and turn on the mic when you need to. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's been an interesting week. We had Dynamite on Tuesday. We got SmackDown Friday morning at 8 p.m. Eastern. We got Crown Jewel at Saturday, 8 p.m. or 8 a.m., I should say. 8 a.m. Friday, 8 a.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. Monday for these shows in Perth, Australia. It's been interesting this past week in wrestling, and we'll see what the panel thinks about the news of this week. And shout out to everybody watching, whether it's live or on demand. Thank you guys for tuning in. Virtue, I'll throw it over to you. We'll get right into our first
All
time.
right. So we're eventually, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we're going to talk about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and we're going to talk about him in terms of wrestling and Hollywood and, the things he's trying to win Oscars, but his movies don't make as much money. What he did with abandoning the John Cena storyline this year. We're going to talk about the appeal of The Rock and if he's losing it. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit. And this is, I'm guilty of not watching NXT, not watching TNA other than what I see posted on social media, on X. But, they're doing a little invasion thing right now with TNA and NXT. Am I correct on this? Are the Hardy Boys the NXT Tag Team Champions?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I know if we look at AEW, they try to do a little bit of stuff with TNA, okay? And, of course, they're working with New Japan as always, and one of the, WWE works with AAA because they own them now, and the other Mexican league is working with AEW. So we see these things happening, but TNA and WWE, who would have thought, back in 2009, that this would be a thing? But here we are. And, like I said, I'm not following it too much. Like I said, I do know the Hardy Boys are the NXT Tag Team Champions. And it's almost like WWE wants NXT to be just like, I know they're on, what's the channel they're on? The CW? They wanted to be like that, just popular enough to say, hey, this show, which is our lowest show, is competing with AEW. I don't know, it's just crazy. So what's everybody's thoughts? There's a lot of tangents we can go off with this. But TNA and WWE are working together. We've known that for quite a bit, and they're exchanging title belts too. It's just insane. I think it could be a matter of time before WWE owns them too. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know, Dave. I'm going to start with you on this one. Back in the day,
Okay.
Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett were running TNA. We had Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. We kind of know who came up through there. And, then we had the Dixie Carter era. But nonetheless, here we are now. They're on WWE television. And I know it's NXT, but it seems like it has a little bit of traction. I know it's for a niche, but let's be honest, they're holding up numbers as strong as AEW right on another network. What do you think, Dave, about this whole thing? Of course, do they make NXT look better? Right? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, whoever thought in 2025, after within the next few weeks, we'd see Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys all still wrestling. I think they will end up. I think Aaron's talked about this before. I think the WWE may end up buying out TNA. It looks like that's what it might be going towards. I think the Hardy Boys weren't going to lose last night, and I think it leads to possibly having them come back on WWE TV at one point or another, at least have one final run. And it's great to see Jeff, and I hope he stays healthy and he's found that right spot as he's getting older where he doesn't have any more issues. It's good to see them. And from what I watched them, honestly, I'm going by Aaron's review last night, and I watched some highlights after you asked me to be on tonight. And I should have watched really NXT instead of AEW last night, because the NXT, the matches I watched, I thought they were really good. I really thought the Ali match was good, and Aaron brought that up in the stream last night. I think Ali's working his way to get back, and I always liked him. I think Retribution hurt him, but I think he's doing what they were talking about in the chat last night. He's doing the Cody and the Drew scenario. He's doing a good job, and he works hard, and he sells, and we're okay. The women's was a good match, except for a few botches here and there. I really like Sol Ruka. She has her finisher, the Sol Crusher is a great finish. Unfortunately, she kind of missed it last night, but I mean, she's looked good when they brought her up to the main show, and I just think they have a lot of decent women wrestlers. We all know WWE has a great list of female wrestlers, and I really hope that and then from what they're saying is TNA, when they get their TV deal, they're going to try to go against AEW. I'm not sure if that's a smart idea, but because eventually if Tony Khan lets someone else take over the duties and sits back, they may build themselves back up, because I'd really like to see the AEW that came out in 2019 and 2020, because it's good to have healthy competition, and really that we don't ever want people have bad things to say about them, and his bookings are pretty sketchy on TV. They have great pay-per-views. I just hope we want them to do well. It'll not only keep Aaron busy, but it'll also it'll make for good stories, because when Nitro was at its best years ago, I watch one and tape one. I'd watch one and tape one because I wanted to watch both of them. I didn't want to just watch one. I think I was kind of like Noah back then. I'd watch any wrestling that came on. I watched TNA back then.
Well, there wasn't as much for us either in the States. Like we had ECW, right. WCW, WWE. It was a little easier to maintain.
At least in 2003.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dave.
But I've been long-winded. I'll let somebody else take over.
That's okay. So, and here's the thing. WWE, like you think they want that library. Imagine them having that TNA library. That's what they want. So this partnership working, getting the Knicks fans behind it, having it like do what it's been doing. I mean, that could be enough to where, Sinclair, whoever still owns TNA, they might say, hey, it's in good hands. We'll sell it off to you. And who knows, but this is where we're at. And Big G.
Yes.
You used to be one of the big NXT fans with the old black and gold, the Triple H era, Finn Balor, the Samoa Joes, the Kevin Owens, the Sami Zayns. And it's different now. Like they purged all the indies of those people that kind of were known, and now they're not as it's different, right? They're lesser known, or they come from AEW, so there's not as many of them. And I think that to some people it'll never be what it was, but you never know. You could still find a diamond in the rough. But what do you think here? Where they're at, and of course having the Hardy Boys, always. See, that tells me AEW may not be competition to them, but when WWE is doing things like that with TNA, it feels like they're sticking. It is sticking because in this stage of the Hardy Boys' career, like NXT champions, tag champions, really. So it's like just stick it to AEW.
Yeah, pretty much. So, obviously, I was happy for the Hardy Boys last night. I'm one of the biggest Hardy Boy fans. I got their logo right here tattooed on my arm,
right below the Jeff Jarrett one.
Yeah, right. But yeah, last night's NXT Showdown was pretty good. I watched the whole thing from start to finish. Trick Williams and Kalani Jordan, they have both TNA's major titles, so you kind of figure that TNA would have to take an NXT title, and why not have it be the Hardys? One of the most decorated tag teams in history. Alongside Edge and Christian and Dudley's. So the Survivor Series matches were pretty good too. I enjoyed them. Seeing Trick Williams, turn on Team NXT last night wasn't surprising at all. And then you had Ali's match with Ethan Page. That was a good match. I wonder if they cut the match shorter because of how his feet got tied up with the microphone and all that stuff, and they decided to end it just like that. But all in all, I thought it was good. I'm liking this NXT TNA what's the word I'm thinking of? Like how they're working together. I think it's a lot better than partnership. Thank you. I think it's a lot better than the TNA and AEW partnership back in the like 2021, 2022, whatever it was for that brief time. And same thing with WWE and AAA, you know. I think WWE knows how to do a good partnership with other companies, whereas I feel, I mean, so does AEW, but I don't know. I just, like Dave said, I wish AEW would go back to what they were back in, 2019, 2020, even 2020, 21. But, I think TNA will eventually, like, they'll get their own TV deal, maybe possibly on the CW, that way, they can kind of piggyback off of NXT in a way. But other than that, I'm happy for all the talent that's there. Shit, even Cardona is going to be on NXT next week. Never in a million years never say never in wrestling business and in wrestling, right? But like Cardona's coming back to WWE, so we'll see how it goes. I think this partnership with TNA will last for a good couple of years.
I know it was way earlier in the year, but The Rock made an appearance on NXT once.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Would you have ever thought that? Oh, wait, and then he disappeared.
Yeah. He's always 10 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, Big G, well, thanks, and chime in if you have something else that pops up. Now I'll go over to Noah.
It's really how you look at both companies. Again, neither one of them is the same as the other. AEW wasn't trying to be WWE soft, even though 2019, some people probably thought was that when you think about the contingency that was leading at the time, especially with Cody Rhodes. And WWE, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. You know what they're using AAA and freaking TNA for. They want that video library. They want that publicity. They want that larger audience. It's for their own self-gain. At the end of the day, WWE is about themselves. It's not WWE. It's their way or the highway. So, yeah, to say that they don't think that AEW's competition is BS, because why would you take out the only other realistic competition you have that has some sort of TV deal, that has some sort of billionaire funding, that has some sort of roster capable of wrestling in the ring and possibly leading? And it's not nostalgia necessarily either. It's young talent. So that whole AEW is not competition thing, that's BS. I don't believe that one bit. The bottom line, we're just an announcement away from saying WWE has acquired TNA. It's as simple as that. I'm just waiting to say WWE TNA as I'm saying WWE NXT, because NXT is no longer its own thing. Brand split LLL has been merged in the WWE ecosystem. I don't have the CW. I didn't watch NXT Showdown Invasion 2.0 last night, all right? And guess what? CW YouTube, all 4 matches are on there for free. So what does that tell you? They want people to watch it, but they know people don't have cable or satellite. In a world where we are connected to every way possible and everything possible to watch at any time, does it really matter what's watched live anymore on a streaming service or TV as long as they're still getting your money? It really doesn't matter to me, because I look at it like this. I watch everything. There's good and bad in everything. I don't consider one thing the top dog, the golden gander, the must-see over the other. I look at all things equally. I enjoyed AEW Title Tuesday for what it brought me in my nostalgia with New Japan and pushing Wrestle Dream, especially Chris Statlander, who I've followed since AAW, etc. But it's just looking at the business itself. You look at smarter practices. You look at more success, whether you're a businessman, whether you're a fan, or do you look at what actually entertains you or actually gets you to invest in them? That's what I look at. But yeah, it sounds like that showdown was really fun last night, and me and Walter are going to do a retro watch shortly after the review as we hype up our coverage for Bound for Glory this weekend. But overall, if you got more options, that's good for both business and fans, and that's all that should matter in the end. Now, again, what is WTNA? That could be a scary future for TNA faithful like me that always looked at TNA as an alternative, where now they might become a similarity. Is that a good thing in the long run? Maybe. Time will tell.
All right. Well, you heard it there from Noah, the simple man. Thanks for that. All right, Aaron.
Yeah, I agree with what was said about WWE acquiring TNA. I think it's only a matter of time. The results of the show really don't matter. People are like, well, look, TNA won 2 of the 4 matches, so WWE's taking this seriously. Well, of course, because the Hardys, for instance, they're really WWE guys. They're not TNA guys. They're working for TNA, but when people think of the Hardy Boys, they think of the WWE characters. They don't think, oh yeah, the Hardy Boys, those TNA superstars, They're just there because They're at the end of their careers, and TNA is giving them employment, bottom line. But they'll be back in WWE. They'll be in the Hall of Fame. And as far as the rest of the show goes, it was mainly to advance WWE storylines. You had Trick Williams betraying the NXT team, and that's going to continue that storyline with Trick Williams and Ricky Starks. So WWE designed all this to, give TNA a little bit of a moment. But at the end of the day, the goal of that show was to elevate the WWE storylines and get people more interested and get people talking about WWE instead of AEW. And we'll see what the numbers are when they come out. Apparently there's this new rating system, and the numbers are not pretty for these shows. But you know what? No one might agree with this, and some of you out there may agree. At the end of the day, what matters is if you enjoy the shows. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. If you like the shows, then more power to you. But I'm curious to see how they did. And if they did poorly, then it is what it is. And it's just back to the drawing board. And hopefully, as we get to the end of the year, WWE with the main roster brands and NXT, along with AEW, they can continue to build their brands and bring in new people. That's what I want. I want more people watching wrestling, and I want to see the audience grow. And you know what? The head-to-head thing is fun every now and then. But yeah, I'm really hopeful that in the future they'll be able to bring in some new eyeballs. And, you know, the question is, was this productive for WWE and AEW, or was it just splitting the audience instead of expanding the audience? The thing about the Monday Night Wars is that Raw Nitro caused new fans to start watching wrestling. It brought in new people and made new fans. So we haven't really seen that in a long time. And I'm still holding out hope that eventually we'll get there with that. So yeah, that's my take on that. The shows were enjoyable. I did enjoy both shows, but it was hard to watch. I used to do what Dave said earlier. I would tape one show and watch the other one live. And I lived on the West Coast, so for a while I had the advantage of being able to watch Nitro at 5 on the West Coast and then Raw at 8 on the West Coast. So that was nice. But yeah, after a while they changed that. We got Psycho Jet Black in the house.
He found out what it was. I thought we were going to be out of here in 45 minutes.
Psycho Jet Black denies your plan. Psycho Jet Black sent in $5. I'm sure Big G will love this one. Is Jeff Jarrett one of the most influential people in wrestling? He founded TNA with his father, was in WWE, WCW, and currently in AEW. Ain't he great? Well,
hey, Psycho, read between the lines.
I think so. Because like when WCW went out of business, TNA was something, an alternative, even, you know, started as the weekly pay-per-views from the National Fairgrounds or wherever they were. But it gave a place for wrestlers to work that was a bigger platform than Ring of Honor back at the time. And so I absolutely think that he made a big difference. And yeah, he booked himself strong for a long time, King of the Mountain. But you can't take that away from Jeff Jarrett at all. No. Because of that, down the road, that AEW was able to do it. I mean, they got a guy that had even more money to put a wrestling company together. So I think it was very influential because that was devastation when WWE basically bought ECW and WCW. TNA was hope. I mean, it was. There was a run there in the 2000s that I watched it religiously, and I thought it was like Don West was a great color analyst, and you know, the rise of like AJ Styles, and it was great. And then you had some WWE guys go there and finally get their pushes, like Ron Killings, Christian, the Kurt Angle had his. I mean, dude, it's classic. It's legendary. WWE wants that library. That's what I think.
I think he's on point there. Jeff Jarrett also was an influencer, like you know, many other people at that time, or few people, excuse me, and NWO and WO Japan, of course, once ran by Masahiro Chono. I remember Double J at the freaking Tokyo Dome.
Dude, he gave Mr. Anderson life after he got fired from WWE.
Yeah.
He had a great feud with Kurt Angle, a storyline with Sting.
I was recently watching that.
He beat up Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah.
He put over China in a good housekeeping match. And I mean, we'll forget about the whole part where he allegedly held up the company for money, but.
Yeah, but Warrior did that before. So, you know,
It's not the
not
first
like Jeff
offender.
Jarrett was the only one, the first one.
Hey, you know how
Hogan
he's
never did stuff like that we didn't ever hear about.
He jumped back. He went to WWE, WCW, back to WWE, back to WCW. He was one of the guys that was a pioneer in that. We see guys like Andrade doing that. Jeff Jarrett was the first to really go back and forth between companies.
As far as we know, yeah.
Yeah, during the Monday Night War era, he was going back and forth quite a few.
And then Global Force, not the gold stuff, but like he literally was able to get Global Force, which I think he envisioned Global Force to be like the next TNA or what AEW ended up becoming. Mm-hmm. But he literally had Global Force on TNA at one point. You remember that? Like,
Lethal Lockdown. Freaking
what a carny.
The Global Force champion.
What a carny. I love it.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett
last of a dying breed.
Extend his brand as far as he could possibly take it.
And he's down to his last year, according to what I've heard in AEW. After this, he's done.
Or so we're led to believe.
There it is.
Biggest fan.
And I don't know how
I should have never sent you that picture. Damn it, Aaron.
Is that the last TNA or AEW show you went to?
I don't know how true this is or not, but before she was super
I think maybe one more after that I had gone to.
Okay.
I think that before she was super famous, he had Taylor Swift babysit his kids or something. I swear to God.
I remember reading that or him saying something like that.
Think about it. Think about Jeff Jarrett knows all the talent. But anyway.
That's the freaking Swift.
I mean, if they're in Nashville, yeah, probably.
That's fair. Music City is the capital of the world.
She was country when she started too. Yeah.
And then she became a pop diva.
All right, Aaron, what else we got?
All right, Jeremy Adams. Okay, here's an interesting one. Thank you, Jeremy, for the super chat, and thank you, Psycho. I'm sure we'll hear from Psycho again. What are some of the worst pay-per-view names? Great Balls of Fire, definitely up there.
WrestlePalooza, yeah, definitely.
I don't think
what a lame trope. That was not even Timu WrestleMania worthy of the marquee. Wrestle in the front of it. You freaking kidding me?
Wasn't that an old ECW pay-per-view?
I thought In Your House was stupid, but I like when they started branding them In Your House, Bad Blood, or whatever. Then I thought it got creative.
That tagline to it. It actually gave it some sort of theme, some sort of freaking identity.
Ground Zero, whatever, Mind Game.
Mind Games.
Battleground. This Tuesday in Texas. There's a throwback.
Right.
But yeah, Great Balls of Fire is probably the number one. Breaking Point, it was all right.
I mean, the I Quit match made sense because literally Randy reached his breaking point. So that actually made sense in context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're caught up, Verch.
All right, main event. We're going to talk about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And so obviously recently we know that he has done this movie, The Smashing Machine, where he plays an MMA fighter, Mark Kerr. I'm not big into MMA. I don't know. It sounded like this film started like it was going to be a film festival type film. How it got to a $50 million budget, okay, maybe, because The Rock was involved. But I almost feel like, I don't know if they expected this movie to make all that money back at the theaters. To me, ever since I found out about it, how The Rock transformed himself, the prosthetics, to do this story, I feel like it's been an Oscar campaign from the makers of the movie, from The Rock and everything, and it's going that way as of right now. And usually some of those movies that are deemed that, they bomb at the box office, and then they go, they get the award nominations, then they come back to the theaters, and then they get the traction. People want to see them, rent them, see them on streaming or whatever. But what I really want to talk about is The Rock, is his appeal declining? So if we go back, we can look at, he did the Fast and the Furious movies, several of them. Jumanji, huge numbers. And those were like all in the 2010s, just before 2020, before the pandemic. Since then, he really hasn't had anything big. I mean, Black Adam was considered a big failure. It still did like 400 or 500 million worldwide, but they put so much money into that movie. It was kind of like a break even, and the whole DC universe was blown up after that. People blame The Rock. He came back to wrestling. He excited fans, specifically wrestling fans again, with the final boss character. Things were looking great. The stuff with Cody. Hey, maybe we'll still get Roman and The Rock. And then he set this stuff up with Cody. Cena turned heel, and it was just over. He just never showed back up. It's like, was there a falling out with Triple H or WWE? You know, he announced WrestleMania was going to be in New Orleans. That got changed. It's so weird to see The Rock kind of like with egg on his face. But then it's like, oh, he got cast in the Scorsese movie. The Moana movies are doing good because they're Disney movies. And now he's going to possibly get nominated or considered Oscar-worthy for this performance as an MMA fighter. And then the premiere, and then it only does like $6 million its first weekend. And people, is it just wrestling fans who point out when a wrestler is not doing well out of wrestling? Because like I've seen other actors, big box office draws, go through their lulls. Jim Carrey had a huge, like he fell off the face of the earth in the 2010s, and then all of a sudden, boom, Sonic the Hedgehog villain, 3 movies, big time, back at it again. It happens. It's ebbs and flows. But in wrestling, we hear when it's a wrestler, wrestling fans, failure, losing his appeal. He stuck the and he did stick the fans in the wrestling bubble. What do we have to say about this? Like, is his appeal declining, or is it, you know, in Hollywood, in wrestling, or is this just The Rock playing his game, and then, you know, if he has to go do something to spark interest back up in himself, he finds a way to do it? What do you think, Dave Scheffler? Who thought we would be talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson when I've been the one saying he ain't showing up again in WWE? I'll believe it when I see it. But then I see people bitching and moaning that his box office numbers are awful for a movie I didn't even think was promoted to be a big blockbuster. I don't know. It's weird. We're in a streaming world. Rock does a lot of streaming deals, and that's a whole different ballgame. But what do you think here with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, future WWE Hall of Famer? We still love him. We still get those goosebumps when we know he's evolved, but he picks and chooses. He's crying now, going to premieres of his movies, trying to win Oscars. Like, what do you think, Dave?
Well, I think in Hollywood, I don't think he's declining yet, because I think if he was, I think we'd see him more, and I think maybe he would have been involved in the Cena story more. I think he's not declining there. In wrestling, in the fans' eyes after what happened over the last probably 6-7 months with Cena's heel turn, he may have declined himself to the fans with wrestling, because I thought for sure, just as you did, Virtue, that he was going to be at WrestleMania against Roman a couple years ago.
Or build that.
And this is before the Cody thing.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know what you guys think. I know Aaron said he'll believe it when he sees it. I kind of think it depends on how he is doing in Hollywood, whether he shows up in Saudi or not. If he's going to show up anywhere with WrestleMania, it will be Saudi. But again, I mean, who knows at this point? Depends on if that Oscar comes, or if he gets that film or Scorsese calls. I mean, if he does, you're not going to turn that down.
Dave. So he lost all that weight because he's got some chicken lizard or whatever role he's got to play an old man. We know he's got the casting in the Scorsese movie, a Hawaiian mobster movie, like that. I don't know when that starts filming, but like he's going for those type of movies now. He's not necessarily like doing the Fast and the Furious. Although Big G, you said he's doing another Jumanji. Those
Jumanji 4. Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. I agree with you, Dave. I don't think he's declining in Hollywood. I think he's trying to do smaller projects. When I say smaller projects, anything under 100 million is a smaller project. So sometimes those lose money, but I think he's trying to get respect in the industry versus just pouring out big blockbuster hits that are supposed to make a lot of money. I don't think he's declining at all, but I think people want him to decline wrestling fans, particularly because he stiffed us at WrestleMania. But Dave, anything else? By the way, yeah, that'll happen. Virtue,
Right? That's because
cut
they're
you
just
off.
upset. They're
We'll cut
upset
you
about
off.
it.
Anything else you got, Dave?
Yeah, people are upset about what happened with everything with Cena. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed. I really thought that story could have gone somewhere. But to see that rapper in there, that was just so annoying and just didn't fit the scene. And it looked like Cena was uncomfortable with it. I just think if they were going to do that heel turn, and everybody said it, really, it's 10 years too late. They could have done what Hulk Hogan did, and they could have done that with Cena years ago. But they still would have had a decent story if it would have been followed up. And Rock kept putting out little Easter eggs about things that were going to happen, and even said, like, to Cody, his story's not done with him, and he just seemed to leave things dangling. And I think that's what people are disappointed about, and that's probably why they're talking the way they do about him.
And of course,
you can't blame him if he's getting those money.
And here's the thing: they're going to say the people that are saying he's losing his appeal in Hollywood. The Young Rock was canceled after this a few seasons, hasn't been picked back up anywhere, not even a streaming service. The whole Black Adam and DC debacle, you know what I mean? And he's doing straight to streaming movies, like whatever the Christmas movie he did and stuff. That's where they're saying, there's a decline in Hollywood and he's past his peak. And that happens, right? I just told you the whole Jim Carrey thing. And then, of course, he had a resurrection with the whole playing Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movie. So it happens. Like you can make a comeback or get back into where you're relevant again. And I'm going to pass it on to Big G now because he's thinking, right? I think Big G and I go way back to where he used to say The Rock's never going to have the match with Roman, to where, oh, yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Oh, it ain't going to happen now again. So our resident Rock expert here, Big G, not as big as the expert as he is on Jeff Jarrett, but
thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Big
So
G.
before I start, I just want to read this statement from Dwayne Johnson after the Smashing Machine. So he said, from deep in my grateful bones, thank you to everybody who has watched the Smashing Machine. In our storytelling world, you can't control box office results, but what I realized you can't control is your performance and your commitment to completely disappear and go elsewhere. And I will always run to that opportunity. It was my honor to transform in this role from my director, Benny Safdie. Thank you, brother, for believing in me. Truth is, this film has changed my life. With deep gratitude, respect, and radical empathy, DJ. So,
Big G, before you continue, so you had to put that out publicly.
Yes.
That was a direct message to the Academy.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, I don't think The Rock has lost his appeal in Hollywood. I mean, he's got movies coming up. I mentioned Jumanji 4. Virtue, you mentioned the Scorsese movie. I think he's the Chicken Man or whatever. He's supposed to be playing like a 70 or 80-year-old man. And I also believe, I think it's done filming and it's in post-production, but the live action Moana movie. So that's 4 movies right there. You cannot tell me this man has lost his appeal in Hollywood. Yeah, and Virtue, you mentioned too, everybody has their flops. He had Doom, he had the Tooth Fairy. You're not gonna have a big successful movie career. There's gonna be some flops. Every actor and actress in Hollywood has had their flops, and then they come back and have this big resurgence. I think wrestling fans that live in their parents' basement have nothing else better to do than to bitch and complain. Oh, well, The Rock, he was supposed to finish the story with John Cena, but all of a sudden he just dropped it. Get over yourselves. Like, the man is making millions and millions of dollars in Hollywood. The man has nothing else to prove in wrestling. He's done everything he needs to do in wrestling. Okay, how many times have we seen in WWE or any wrestling company that storylines have just dropped off the face of the earth and had no conclusion. There's been plenty of times where that's happened, I'm sure. But
Yep.
you know, it's the internet wrestling community has nothing else better to do than to be these keyboard warriors, you know. I said it, Aaron, keyboard warriors, and
He's
just
not wrong.
complain. Like, be happy for the man. The man is doing something different. That wrestling is, yes, it's still his passion, but right now Hollywood is his passion. He wants to, like Virtue said, he wants to get that Oscar. He's chasing an Oscar now, and he's maybe with the Smashing Machine or possibly with this Scorsese movie coming out whenever it does come out. But the man hasn't lost his appeal. I mean, I go back to watching The Scorpion King, and like that right there just showed me that he had that he could be somebody in Hollywood one day, and he is. I think a couple years ago, wasn't he like the highest grossing paying actor in Hollywood, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken?
I remember that
So-
statistic.
So like,
Mhm.
get over yourselves, internet wrestling community. Move on.
Well, but it only did $6 million. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know, they love the negative numbers. You know, AEW only did 450,000. Anyway,
300,000, 250,000 with the new rating system.
Yeah.
0.03 demo for Collision.
yeah, I don't even know what this rating system is. I'll have to check it out. All right, Noah, we're talking about Dwayne Johnson here and his appeal. Like, and you know what? His appeal, and he hurt his own appeal in wrestling this past year because he set something up with Cena. It was promising, and it just wasn't fulfilled. And it's like, and he set all those Easter eggs up with Cody. So that's where I think I could definitely see wrestling fans being pissed, and he's lost that step. Not that he didn't have the match with Roman, you know, because you came in and Cody was already booked to win the Rumble, and they pivoted, and he participated well. Like, I thought that played out all well when that happened a couple years ago. So I can definitely see the wrestling fans, you know, and to a point, Rock losing some of that appeal because of this past year, several months, because he didn't follow through, or he made it look like something was going to be done, but it never was. And wrestling, you can't come back 2 years later and pick back up with that, because wrestling fans will be like, oh, now? But in Hollywood, I definitely don't think he's lost it, because they would stop paying. They would go on to the next, right? That's what Hollywood does. Rock wouldn't be getting all these roles and stuff. I don't think Scorsese would be signing him to do a mobster flick. So what do you think, Noah?
Well, when I was once a wee lad, me and my mom used to watch movies like Walking Tall, of course, and some of those other movies that didn't do so huge, like The Game Plan, for example. But I also only watched the very first Marine. I never watched another movie on the Marine. How many W superstars did that? What is a dollar appeal to you when it doesn't fill your wallet, when they're still being hired for all this? At this point, I may not watch movies, but I know the Oscars got to be like the highest daggum accolade for any actor or actress to achieve. And they want to do it at least once, if not more than once. Well, Disney has like daggum near 30 of them, I think, when I was looking at some of that history while y'all were talking. So he's definitely not lost appeal in Hollywood. He's doing all of these projects. And for Dwayne Johnson, the man, Dwayne Johnson, not W superstar The Rock, to have all these different avenues of joy and opportunity to not only grow his own brand, but also expand his own personality. That's good for him. I mean, heck, how many different ways right now is he pretty much in some people's eyes? On screen, TKO board, tequila, sports, etc. Big money appeal. If Dwayne Johnson was losing value in Hollywood, you wouldn't even be bringing up in conversation right now in this facet. And Entertainment Tonight would come back on the air to tell you otherwise, because Entertainment Tonight no longer exists either. I used to remember that crap being on before Hollywood Squares. But yeah, he's definitely not losing his appeal in Hollywood. You're freaking kidding me? I don't even watch movies and I know that. That's ridiculous. As far as wrestling, it goes like this, I think, with people. I think people are too stubborn to hold on to the past and not move on to the future. You know, there's a little thing on here that you can actually mute notifications, or there's a thing on the side called a power button. You can just turn it off and just go about your day. You know, maybe dribble a basketball, go play rock in a different video game, you know, go do something else in your time besides holding out for something you waited for so long and it didn't get fulfilled, and go, Grow the F up. Seriously. Big G, I applaud you, by the way, by taking my statement about mentality. So, yeah, he's definitely not losing appeal in Hollywood, but people cannot move on or can't think of something new to be created when they already were betrayed once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm a bleeping fool, apparently. The thing about WWE, though, nothing in WWE happens on accident, right? I remember The Rock attacking Cody in the rain in Chicago. Hell, it was one of the last times I kept watching Raw on repeat because I loved that segment so much. And what was teased in the background? Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? Trish Stratus. What? None of that freaking happened. But the fact of the matter is, okay, it didn't happen. Too bad, so sad. Sometimes nostalgia doesn't live forever. You got to move on and look towards the future. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at WWE towards that. Now, they need to do a whole lot more than just Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed, in my opinion. But that's a whole different conversation. He's not losing appeal in Hollywood as far as wrestling goes. If he doesn't show up again until Saudi Arabia, that's his own choice, money-wise or not.
All right. Well said, Noah. And like I said, some of these movies, especially if they're like Oscar-worthy and they do hit and they win, streaming, to have the exclusive streaming rights. Look what Netflix pays WWE, right? HBO Max has AEW. Yeah. So that Smashing Machine, if it were to be up for Oscars, or if Rock won, the movie won for something, again, it's tough, right? It's all politics. But they could make their money like that with a streaming deal for that movie to be exclusive to and so the box office then doesn't matter. So they look at other ways of success. But thank you, Noah. I'm going to pass it over to Aaron now in the NoDQ Galaxy.
Wait, Big G wanted to add
I just wanted to say something. For all those marks out there that want The Rock to come back, go play some WWE 2K25 and play as The Rock. That'll get your jimmies off for you.
Well, let's talk about the appeal of The Rock. So the question is, has he lost appeal? There are people upset with The Rock right now. There are people mad about the John Cena storyline, how he walked away after that, got hot. He didn't follow through with the Cody Rhodes storyline or even the Roman Reigns storyline. For now, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat, says, Big G, were you the G in the GTV storyline back in the 2020s? Were you?
In the 2000, I sure was.
There you go. Yes, he was the one behind GTV, believe it or not. I think Big G was like, what, 8 years old at the time? 10?
10, something like that, 10 or 11.
Yeah, but he was already pulling the strings way back then. He was already the big baller way back during the Attitude Era. And then the second part of this super chat is, would the Saudis give The Rock $1 billion so he would fight Roman Reigns in Saudi Mania?
Not that much, but
no.
Sorry.
Yeah, not that much. But hey, listen, I think people in Saudi Arabia, the government will offer The Rock something? Hell yeah. I think they're going to offer Steve Austin big money. I think they're going to offer The Rock big money. And The Rock, if he is available, there's a lot of possibilities with The Rock. We have to see how his Oscar nomination process goes, if it even happens.
When is the Oscars anyway? Is that coming up this year, or is that
usually,
like
no, the nominations usually come out late year, early year, and then it's usually like February, the show.
Okay.
He's got I don't watch that. But again, like, this could just be the first movie that even has that buzz, and if he doesn't get anything for it, then it's like, well, okay, let's people know that I can act, and then let the Academy know I can act, and then I'm going to do The Chicken Man, I'm going to do Scorsese. He could be setting up other potential Oscar stuff down the road. It seems like he wants to be accepted. I know he had beef with Vin Diesel a lot, and because Vin Diesel's like a trained actor and stuff, and Rock came out of the wrestling world, and I think I patched things up since. So I think Rock has a chip on his shoulder with the Hollywood elites to be accepted into them as like trained actor, all
around talent,
shape into any character. I think that's his mission. And it never.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that too, just from the concept of this conversation, because I think of the Oscar being the highest accolade for any accomplished Hollywood film buster. You gotta be able to cover all facets of personality, presentation, and demonstration on the big screen. And action adventure, Fast and Furious number 11.5 isn't gonna cut it, bruv.
Now, going back to the topic here with The Rock, he's 53 years old. he's probably not going to be doing the action movies that he was doing over the past 10, 20 years. He's going to be focusing on the type of movies that Virtue mentioned, stuff like this Smashing Machine movie and the Martin Scorsese project. If he doesn't get the Oscar nomination, do I think the chances increase of him going back to WWE? Yes, but he'll probably keep trying. Like you said, he's going to focus on that as he gets older, trying to do the more serious roles. I think he's a great actor. I don't think he's the best actor of all time, but he's certainly one of the most charismatic entertainers of all time. And he will always have that, even at old age. Even if he loses his physique, he still has that personality that 1 in a million people have. He's The Rock. He'll always have some sort of an appeal. People are mad at him, but that doesn't mean that he's lost his appeal. If he goes back to WWE, guess what? Everybody's going to be excited and they're going to be hyped up. He's going to go into his shtick, do the final boss again, and people will love it and they'll forgive him for interrupting the WrestleMania storyline. So that's how I feel about The Rock. He's never truly going to lose his appeal. People might be disappointed in him. He might see his career in Hollywood dwindle if he doesn't start getting nominations because he can only do the action movies for so long. So we'll see what happens with him. But I do think he will be back in a WWE ring one day. And if the timing is right, I don't think the money is really an issue. It just comes down to the time that he's available to do it. If it works out, then I think there's a decent chance he'll be at the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine The Rock playing Hamlet or Macbeth. What do you think about that?
Be or not to be.
He would crush that. He would crush that skull, Noah.
No. Also, I think Hamlet's like one of William Shakespeare's longest plays ever. So you will be sitting for quite a long haul. You thought Titanic was long? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure The Rock is up for a challenge. You know, he'll take on any role if he can get it. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in another $2 super chat. Here we go with Psycho. One person who lost their appeal is Austin Theory, right? We can all agree on that.
I mean, again, he beat John Cena at WrestleMania 39 and nothing.
And nothing. Exactly.
Wait, don't you have to have a appeal?
Him and Solo.
Ooh.
Ooh. Accurate.
No lies detected.
No.
Tell him when he's telling lies.
Shameful thing. He lost today.
All right. On that note, I believe we're caught up, Virtue.
All right.
Austin Theory's
What a great little info. And we're back Tuesday night as normal next week. It should be Gino's turn. So, yeah, you know, Colin was out sick and I jumped in. I'm glad we still got to do a show this week. So let's go around and do our final words and see if we can get out of here. Although that's questionable with Psycho Jet Black in the chat. But, Dave, thanks for being on the show. Any last words?
Just thanks, guys. I so much appreciate it and have fun. And the last time I got to be on, I told Aaron, you know, I might sound like a silly kid, even though I'm probably the oldest one here. But I really appreciate getting the chance to be on here. And anytime you need someone at the last minute or you need someone, I'm available. So I work from home, so I'm here most of during the week. So.
Aaron works from home.
I have nothing to show on. I'm on Facebook, but nothing big. I just want to say yes to NoDQ and everybody, you know, keep watching. And we got a great show here, and Aaron's done a great job along with Virtue and the rest of the guys. I mean, you guys are great. I enjoy watching every time I get a chance.
Thanks for being on and participating. Okay, Big G.
Wait, before we get to Big G, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat.
Oh, Christ.
Imagine The Rock playing me in a movie.
It doesn't matter what you watch.
I mean, he'd really have to cut his charisma down to like 1/10 to have an accurate portrayal of me. Just saying. Big G, go ahead and give us
Yes.
what you got.
Aaron, I have one other thing to ask you.
Oh, go ahead.
I just had one thing to ask you, and I know other people have, but I wasn't here back in the day, but I want to know more about Rift Aronson.
Well, you're going to have to super chat about that because I don't talk about that name for free. Just saying. Because that guy is a son of a I hate him more than Jeff Jarrett hates getting over and making money. All right. Big G, I'm going to throw it over to you now.
Yes. So everywhere, everywhere original Big G won, except for Instagram, original Big G 1988 because Instagram sucks. And that's it.
All right, and we got one more here from Psycho Jet Black, and then we got one from Jeremy Dorset. So let's look for those. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says Dave, he's talking about Dave Scheffler, not Dave Southworth. Dave, will you wear a suit like the Kingpin?
Oh, from some Spider-Man.
From Spider-Man.
Or Daredevil.
No suits for me. I'm in Florida. I like shorts and flip-flops.
That's how you do it down in Florida.
I won't ever look as nice as Noah does.
Yeah, Noah's up in Ohio. It gets cold. We don't have the nice beachy weather like you do in Florida. So Noah likes to dress up. Jeremy Dorset sent in $2. Thank you, Jeremy. Says, is Austin Theory more over than Ricochet? No. Ricochet's doing all right. I mean, I think he's brought more entertainment to the table than Austin Theory has in the past year. Oh,
he's also been booked more.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. Okay, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Aaron, talk about Rift Aronson. You're welcome, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Rift tried out for Tough Enough in 2015, did not get the part, and blamed me for it, and then started hijacking my streams. And it got to the point where I had to get out of Oregon. He was stalking me. So after he destroyed my place, I moved and left him in Oregon. We haven't seen him since. That's the story of Rift Aronson.
I'm sorry about that, Aaron. I guess I should have done that without Psycho here.
Correct.
Hi, baby boy.
All right.
Noah, your turn.
I'm into Cheers and Fox 916 on the X and on YouTube. I'll be covering NXT Showdown here shortly. City predicting episode 150 tomorrow. We're covering Bound for Glory and Crown Jewel this weekend, as well as post-mortem predictions with Gino next week. I'll be back on the review, and as always, just enjoy life, enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that.
Whoa! Slow it down a little bit. We got to hear the.
We want to get out here under an hour. Come on.
Yeah, we're trying to get out under an hour. If they want to hear it, they can go tune into the stream that I have us in 3 minutes. Wrap this thing up.
I got to hear your
Well
catchphrase.
Aaron, over to you.
All right, after Aaron's done, I'll do it for him. We'll wrap it up. Hurry.
All right, well, it looks like we're going over an hour here, folks. Sorry.
No, we're not.
Oofman sent in a $5 super chat. Says, word around the campfire is that at WrestleMania, it may be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Thoughts on that? I think that is probably the best way to go. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. To me, that's the best combo there. Virtue, what would be your choice for Roman at WrestleMania?
Rock. But no, the realistic choice versus Rollins is fine for the title, or versus Cody for the third match for the title.
Whatever gives them the night to win.
Honestly, I would prefer the Cody one again to finish that and make a trilogy, but either one would be fine.
Yeah, finish the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple stories you can finish. I mean, Cody and Reigns would be the third match to see who's the best. But then you got Roman and Seth with all their history.
I feel like Punk and Rollins would be the WrestleMania match, setting up Cody and Reigns for the other one. They could go either way.
Well, I mean, look at Raw. Raw's been nothing but the freaking Punk Seth show.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, Big
All
G.
right, next.
You like Roman versus Seth?
You know what? When if it happens, it happens. If not,
Meltzer's always right, so it'll be Roman and Rollins because he.
Well, God forbid we
Paul
listen to his
Heyman,
ratings scale.
Paul Heyman told him his number one informant.
Yeah,
Call
the
him
Oracle,
Dave
the
Meltzer's
wise man.
number one informant, and he gets a check for it. And that's why he does it.
Meltzer needs to get his head out of Heyman's ass,
Yeah, if only it was
or
that
vice
simple.
versa.
Right?
Big G's been feisty tonight.
I mean, we're all feisty. We're hitting the hour mark in literally 5 seconds. Just because you want to hear me say I'm a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! And Psychojet Black Starter Super Chat Cyclone.
Perfect. Right at the hour mark, we got the catchphrase. Could not have been better for that. Now, Jeremy Dorset sent in a $2 super chat. Is Rift Aronson more over than Austin Theory? No.
No.
Hell no. Austin Theory is 1,000,000 times more over than him.
All right, next.
Big G's had just about enough of this Rift Aronson bull crap.
Never mention the name again.
Yes, please. Say his name and he will not appear. That's his catchphrase. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, imagine The Rock playing Austin Theory in a movie. He'd have to down his charisma to like 1/1000th of what it is. I mean, can The Rock even do that? Can The Rock play a role where he has like negative charisma?
That would be a challenge. That's the type of roles he wants, where he has to go to another place.
He's D-minus list movie.
What is the it's the opposite of an Oscar. It's like the Razzles or Saturn Awards or whatever.
They give those things out. Wow.
Yeah, they give out awards for bad movies.
Maybe he'll go for that. Go for the worst role of the year.
Might as well be a participation. Might as well be a participation trophy made out of chocolate.
Or have the gong from the Gong Show there. The gong and
we got a gong sound effect, but I was told not to play it because it's annoying, so I'm not going to do it. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2. Thank you, Psycho. Says, what do you do with Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania 42? What, an actual serious question? Are you kidding me? Maybe put them against each other. Like, what if you do the battle of the future superstars?
I'd be for it.
I mean,
there you go.
Either that or Braun Breaker beats like Roman Reigns at WrestleMania or something like that. But I really think Roman and Seth is the match for WrestleMania. But yeah, Braun Breaker should be in a high-profile match. Same with Jacob Fatu.
They have teased those two before too.
That's right. So there you go. Let them go out there and just beat the hell out of each other, and give them a nice solid mid-card spot on the card to build them up. All right. I know Big G's ready for the next one. Big G looks like he's just been taken care of by Dave Scheffler when he was all passed out there.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe, yes.
Welcome to review, Dave.
Psycho Jet Black.
Yeah, I get the
chat. Welcome, Dave Scheffler. Psycho Jet Black says, imagine The Rock playing Eric Bischoff.
Oh my God.
Psycho, save your money. Stop asking these stupid questions.
Conspiracy equals cash coming 2026 to a you. Moving on.
Oh my God.
Well, first of all, The Rock would have to like lose a foot of height, which you can't really do. He'd also have to like lose almost all of his body mass and become like 150 pounds to pull that off. So
well, he's supposed to be playing the Chicken Man, so he's the 70-year-old man. So he might.
Yeah, so he's like 220.
That would work.
He's still got like 70 to go to get to Bischoff's frame.
Gotta get Bischoff's hair though.
Yeah, he'd have to wear a wig for that one. Oh, here you go, Virtue. Here's a name out of the past. The Anime Gen 2.0 sent in $2. It says, where's the real star, Mikey T, the movie star?
Who knows?
One of those flavors of the month who disappeared like some certain other people have. Yeah, who's still here? Original review moderator.
Hey,
yeah.
I have no issues with Mikey T, but yeah, there was some behind-the-scenes drama in the NoDQ chat room, so we're not going to get into that. But yeah, there was some stuff.
I don't even remember what it was, Aaron. I might have called him a
don't either. I
mark.
really don't. I think it might have been between him and Jeff Meacham. So to Anime Gen, you might want to reach out to Jeff if you're legitimately interested in what went down with Mikey T and the No DQ people. But yeah, it was a little messy. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, imagine The Rock playing Jeff Jarrett in a movie. Now, Big G, that would be Oscar worthy, right?
Jeff Jarrett would capitalize on that with some type of royalties. Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's a bit of royalties. Check involved.
Yeah, just imagine that, a Samoan playing a guy from Tennessee, a Southern boy.
Instead of a guitar, he hits someone over the head with a ukulele.
I got one for you. Imagine Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, playing Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. There you go.
There you go. It'd be like the Marx Brothers movie with Harpo looking in the mirror.
Yeah. The mirror man.
And then everybody, and then that's when he gets his Oscar for playing himself.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd like to thank myself for playing myself. I would also like to thank myself for producing myself.
All right, Cody Rhodes's list says, I know this is probably not going to happen, but imagine Karrion Kross is John Cena's last opponent, but I feel like he lost his momentum he had. Same with Jacob Fatu. Well, Karrion Kross never really had Jacob Fatu's momentum. Let's be real here. But yeah, I think that it's probably too little too late for Kross to come in and be Cena's last opponent. The thing is, like, nobody's really talking about Kross except for when he does his interviews. That's how he's keeping his name in the headlines. But I think people are over the whole Kross being a big star. Like, they might have had something there, but it's come and gone. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's very unlikely that Kross is the opponent. What do you guys think?
He had his 15 minutes of fame with Sammy.
I think Gunther is a safe bet. Long shot, Lesnar. Yeah.
Yeah. Previous topic. Go check out the NoDQ review literally
last
2
week.
weeks ago.
Last
week, I think, actually. I can't keep track of time.
Yeah. Will not be Kross. I think that's a safe bet. All right. On that note, I believe we are caught up. Noah, you did your plug, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says,
Christ almighty.
Oh, jeez.
You're killing it. Imagine
We're gonna keep this right rolling.
All right. Imagine The Rock playing George Hackenschmidt.
Who the fuck is George Hackenschmidt?
I have no damn clue.
This is after dark, so I'm gonna throw F-bombs now.
Be demonetized.
Don't we get one a show?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, Big G's about to use his.
He already did.
I just did. I just said, who the F is George Hackenschmidt? I never.
Who the F?
Is he related to George Jingleheimer Schmidt?
No.
All right, Big G, your homework assignment is to go look up George Hackenschmidt.
I'm about to look this up. Who the
Yes,
heck is
give
George
us some knowledge, because you know Psycho is going to keep us on another 15
Oh
minutes.
my gosh! Hurry up!
He was quiet until the end here.
Colin, why did you have to get sick tonight? Why? One night where he was just going to kick back in the chat. Jeremy Dorset sent in $5. Thank you, Jeremy. Says, I imagine The Rock playing Mr. McMahon or Paul Heyman in a movie. Who would The Rock legitimately be able to pull off? Like, I think The Rock could do a few guys, but we saw him transform as Mark Kerr in that movie, The Smashing Machine. What wrestler could he legitimately look like that guy?
There would be nothing in wrestling. They would.
Yeah. He's.
I said, if I was going to do a movie and what could he portray, I would, if they ever did a reboot of the Harry Potter series, which, down the road, I'm sure they will, Lord Voldemort. And I don't, have a woman player. No, Lord Voldemort is not a woman in the book. So The Rock, I'd love to see him, because that's one of my favorite villains of all time. I would like to see The Rock be cast Lord Voldemort.
This George Hackenschmidt was an Estonian amateur wrestler, strongman, writer, and sports philosopher.
Well, there you go. The more you know.
You learned something new today, Big G. And The Rock could play Triple H. I mean, he did the parody of him. You guys remember that promo, right?
Yeah, I do. The game.
There you go. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. Says, imagine The Miz playing The Rock in a movie. Didn't The Miz come out dressed up like The Rock once?
He did.
Like he had like the bald head and everything. He did a good job. Hell, I say The Miz could pull it off. He'd have to put on some muscle, but yeah, I thought he did a good job when he spoofed the Rock. I think it was leading up to WrestleMania 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because he was the host. Then he got 15 seconds of fame when the Rock bottomed him.
There you go. But yes, we can actually imagine that because The Miz did in fact dress up like The Rock and did that impersonation back in 2011. All right, on that note, we're caught up. Virtue, the QR code goes to the merch store. So any final things you would like to plug or promote
go
here?
Check out, shirts. Virtue turns NoDQ upside down. That's my original shirt. Go to x.com if you dare, at NoDQ_Virtue. That is all I got. Hopefully we can get out of here right now. For Dave Scheffler, for Big G, for Noah, for Aaron, for Colin, and the whole NoDQ crew and Galaxy, and Gino, who should be moderating next week. I am the original review moderator, Virtue. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again next Tuesday evening.
Have a good night, folks.